You're smart, you're motivated, you want to do something big. You're on the verge of being a young boss, and we're going to help you get there. I'm your host, Isabel Garino, and welcome to the Young Boss Podcast, where youth is your power. Have you ever seen your clients naked? This week we talk about how to stand out as a small fish in a big pond, the importance of always being a student of your craft no matter how successful you are, and the naked truth of third-party marketing services like Groupon and ClassPass. I'd like to welcome Bree Lopez, the owner and founder of the Bronzed Bungalow, a boutique spray tanning salon in Old Town Scottsdale. Let's dive in. Okay, well, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Excited that you're here. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, my name is Bree.
Yes.
I moved to Arizona about 5 years ago.
Okay.
Which is kind of crazy that it's been that
5
long.
years
It
now.
seems like it was like a blink of an eye.
Yes.
But I own a tanning salon.
Yeah.
We are located in Old Town Scottsdale.
Okay.
I have been in the tanning industry for 13 years now.
Wow.
So it was my first job outside of high school.
Oh, I love that.
No part of me ever thought that I'd be a business owner or an entrepreneur.
Really?
No. No.
Okay.
But I fell in love with tanning, and
Yeah.
it just so happens that when I moved out here, I was like, you know what? I think I can do this.
Okay.
I can do this on my own. I don't need to work for anybody.
Yeah.
So that's how I kind of fell into becoming an entrepreneur. But like I said, it wasn't something that I always knew I wanted to do. I had an entire lifetime before tanning. I actually worked in public relations for 4 years.
I bet that's helpful to you as a business owner,
it's
though.
incredibly helpful. But yeah, never wanted to be an entrepreneur, but I moved to Arizona and I jumped right in.
Okay. So when did you open the Bronze Bungalow?
So I opened in October of 2019.
Wow.
Right before the
COVID.
pandemic.
Yeah.
So that was interesting.
Did you tell me about that? Did you take a big hit?
I knew going into the first year of business, it wasn't like I was like going to make a whole bunch of money or anything. So I was already geared up for that.
Okay.
So that was nice in the fact that like, okay, this is all happening year one. So this is kind of okay still.
Yeah.
I did not have rent yet because I was working out of a small space in a larger salon.
Okay.
And they weren't charging me rent at the time.
Amazing.
They were taking just a little profit from each one of my tans that I would do.
Okay.
And so when everything shut down, it wasn't like I still had rent to pay, which was so nice.
How does
and
it
that
feel
was,
to be God's favorite? Right? Like,
And so that's honestly like, I truly believe how I was able to get through it.
Yeah.
Because I had just put in so much money to start everything and buy all the product and buy the machines.
Yeah.
And so it was like, it was scary that I wasn't able to actually work, and I had just put out so much money.
Right.
But the fact that no rent was coming out really helped.
Oh, yeah. Were you the only employee at the time?
I was the only one at the time.
Okay, so it really did help save you. Amazing.
Yep.
Once you got rocking and rolling and got your own shop, things drastically changed, right?
Sure.
How much did you have to like save up to do that, or did you take out a business loan?
No, I've bootstrapped everything.
Amazing.
Yeah, I don't really, there wasn't like some number that I had saved and I was like, okay, I can do this now. I was just
like, let's do it.
I just did it.
Okay.
I started the business in October, and by, I want to say it was like April or May. So still very much in like the pandemic.
midst, yeah.
Everyone still doesn't really know what's going on. I was like, oh no, I need a bigger space. This is not going to work for me. Like, I need a space. I need to call it my own.
Yep.
And so I found the space and I was just like, I'll figure it out.
Yep.
I always do.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then you started hiring girls on.
Yeah, so it stayed just me for the first year, maybe 11 months.
Okay.
And then at that point, even though we were still in the midst of everything,
Right.
I was like, okay, I actually just need a little bit of a break. Like, I can't be working as much as I want to be here all the time. I can't be here 10 to 12 hours a day every single day.
No.
That's not going to
fly. That's your whole life.
Like my mental will go.
Yeah.
And so that is when I brought on my first person, and then it kind of just went from there.
Was that nerve-wracking? Because it's like, it's fully your brand. Like, you control everything.
And that's the hard part when it comes to business ownership, is that no one is going to love your brand and your baby like you.
Yep.
So yeah, it was really hard. And being a service-based business that is also such an intimate service-based business, intimate by the fact that you are standing naked in front of me.
Fully.
So you are fully at your most, vulnerable self. So to make sure that you have the right people working for you is crucial.
Yes.
It can't be someone who's awkward, who doesn't know how to have conversations, who's going to make people feel awkward. So yeah, that was a very nerve-wracking part. It still is.
Anybody you hire, do you make them spray tan you?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, good. You got to know how they do it.
Absolutely.
And can they carry a combo?
Yes.
And it is true, because one time I had a subscription somewhere and it was like, oh, I'm going in and I was getting a new girl every time. And I'm like, I'm just showing everything to just a random girl every single week. Like, I'm not cool with this.
Yeah. And I think that's the one thing that I love about the way we run our business is that you will get to know us. There's only a few of us. So you will get to know us. And it's not like there's, 15 girls working there and we're not churning and burning. You will get to know us and you will build relationships with us if you are the type of tanner who's coming in, week in, week out.
Do you find that most people are occasion or event tanners, or do you have a bigger percentage who are coming in weekly or bi-weekly?
Yeah, everybody's a different type of tanner, and I love that you know that.
Yeah.
I would say majority of people really are the event-based type tanner.
Really?
Which is hard within the business because the event-based type tanner that sees me once or twice a year is not going to keep my doors open.
No. And you have to constantly find more.
You have to find more.
And when it's not prom season, wedding season, this, that, and the other.
Exactly. So I would say the majority of our clientele is event-based, but because of that, our clientele is quite vast.
Yeah.
There's never been a point where we're like, we don't want any more new clients. We are always looking for new clients because of that. But we do have a really, really good base of women that are also the ride or die tanners, our members that are coming in every week, every other week, because they just love the way a tan makes them feel and they don't need a reason for it. It's just life.
It's life.
Yeah.
They just want to look good, feel good.
Yeah.
Right? Okay. I think there's been huge trends and information out there about tanning beds, right? We grew up in a generation, I'm assuming, of tanning beds are kind of like what you do after high school. You go lay in the tanning bed.
I used and abused them.
Okay, we all did, right? And now it's like, oh my God, it's so terrible for you. But then there's conspiracies saying whatever the government tells you is bad for you is actually good for you, right? And so I'm on like all this crazy, what is tanning good? Is it bad? Yeah. How do you feel? And obviously you're spraying. So do you get girls coming in saying like, asking questions like that direction? Is this toxic for me? Should I be doing this? Should I be doing that?
Yeah. I think there's so much information out there now, and tanning in tanning beds is not nearly as common as when we were at that age.
No.
And like I said, I used and abused the tanning beds. So I love that. I love that people actually know that part and they're like, okay, a lot of UV at one time is not good for my skin.
Right.
But we will get an occasional gal that comes in and like wants to know more about what we're using. Is this organic? Should I be, inhaling this, things of that sort. And I think that's what comes back to education and making sure that you're going to someone who can answer all of those questions and who is knowledgeable. And I think if you're someone who's wanting to get into the industry, that's such a crucial thing, is making sure that you continue to educate yourself because they're going to come at you with those questions like, hey, is this organic?
And if you don't know.
And if you don't know, or if you lie.
Right. Yes. Okay. Talk to me about your entrepreneurial journey. You did not know you were going to do this. Now you're in it. Are you happy? Are you like, man, I wish I never did this. I want to work for somebody else? Because some days I'm like that. I'm like, damn, it'd be easier just to go have like a 9-to-5 on somebody else's payroll.
Yeah. 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 So now that I am in the thick of it, 5 years in, I would not change it for a second.
Yeah.
It is very, very difficult. And I think people can tell you, you can listen to the podcasts, you can listen to your friend that has her own business and whatever. People can tell you about how difficult it is and all of that. You don't actually know until you're in the thick of things, until you are experiencing all those raw, real emotions and everything's hitting you at once. Yeah. So yeah, I wouldn't change it for the world. I absolutely agree with you in the fact that there are days that I want to close up shop and just go work for somebody else or go back to public relations there are definitely days, but I wouldn't change it for the world. I don't think going back to a regular full-time behind the desk sort of job would ever suit me.
No.
Yeah.
Okay. On that note, what do you think's been the hardest part of your entrepreneurial journey?
Oh my God. I don't think there has been one significant thing that's like the hardest.
Okay.
I think every day brings new challenges.
Yes.
And there's ups and downs to every single day.
Yeah.
So I couldn't put my finger on one thing that's been the hardest because I think my days are just so different.
Yeah. Hiring challenges, client challenges, all sorts of stuff.
All sorts of things. Yeah. And being an owner operator also brings in, challenges of its own.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't think I could put my finger on.
That's okay.
On one thing.
Your PR background, I'm assuming that really helps you with marketing, getting the word out there, and your branding.
Yeah.
Have you used from that background that you're like, oh, I'm so glad I knew that?
Everything.
Okay.
Everything.
Tell us more.
People find out that I worked in PR and they were like, you make so much sense now.
Yeah.
They're like, I get it now.
Yeah.
When I went to college, being in public relations was like all I wanted to do.
Oh.
I wanted to work in PR. I wanted to do events. I wanted to do branding. Like that was what was up my alley.
Yeah.
I always did tanning on the side because again, I started back right after high school.
Yeah.
But that is what I wanted to do.
Okay.
And so the things that I learned on the job in those short 4 years have been so crucial to every little piece of me building my business.
Yeah.
The social media aspect, the influencer aspect, the gifting aspect, the branding aspects, the pitching aspects, all of it.
Yeah.
Marketing.
Yep.
All of it.
I mean, your guys' brand is beautiful.
Thank you.
It's really nicely curated, and every time I see something, nothing looks off-brand, right? It all is very meticulous, and I love that. I think that that's really strong and important because when someone is looking for a brand that they're proud to post, that they're excited to be like, oh, look, tell all their friends to go there. They don't want to send, oh, here's just this random girl who whatever. They want to show something really gorgeous, and you really are presenting beautifully.
That was one thing that was really important to me. I'm so big on branding. I love branding. Branding for me as a consumer is what it grabs me. Yep. I gravitate towards the good branding. Yep. And so that was really, really important when building my brand, that we had super solid branding and that when we would post to our socials or you would get an email or whatever, you instantly knew what you were reading, who it was. Yep. That was very important to me.
You are a 10 out of 10 in that category, so good job. Okay, I'm assuming in the tanning world there are slower times. First, I'm curious to hear, is it summer or winter?
It's summer.
Summer.
Yeah. Well, at least in Arizona. That is different everywhere because all my LA girls right now, this is their time to shine. Okay. They are busy, busy, busy.
Okay.
Arizona, it is summer.
Okay. Because part of you is like, okay, in the winter, obviously you're not tan, so you need to get a tan. But then the other part is like summer, well, I'm not tan yet, and now I'm about to be half naked outside. I need to get a tan.
Yep.
So it's kind of like, which one? How should business owners prepare for slower times?
Yeah. So within our industry, for us, spray tanning is very slow in Arizona because Arizona is a very seasonal place. Yeah. Arizona summers, if you're not familiar with them, are wild.
Yeah.
There is little to no tourism in Arizona during summer.
Yeah.
half the population of Arizona, at least Scottsdale, decides they're going to leave, which is also very peculiar. It's not, most places don't do that.
No.
Like, if you live in California, you stay in California during summer. You
Yeah.
live in Florida, you stay in Florida during summer. No, Arizona's different.
You're gone.
So half of our clientele is gone. There's no tourism. There is no weddings happening. Weddings are huge within our business.
Wow.
So yeah, so summertime sucks.
Yeah.
To put it as it is, it
Yes.
sucks. So for us and what other entrepreneurs outside of our business, what my recommendation would be is learn if your business is seasonal like ours is, right?
Yeah.
So figure that out and then plan for it because it will happen every single year.
Yeah.
So year 1 and year 2 of my business, I was terrified come summer. I was like having a breakdown every single day because I thought my business was failing and I needed to shut it down and I needed to go get a job and it was like the worst thing.
Yeah.
Now, year 5, I'm like, yeah, this is just how it is.
Right.
So what did we do? We plan ahead. We plan our finances accordingly.
Yeah.
So when summer comes and we're not making as much, that's okay.
Yeah.
We know we're going to be okay.
Yeah.
So just figure out what those seasons are and plan ahead financially for those seasons.
Okay, I gotta ask because I feel like tanning is something. Is Groupon even is Groupon still a thing?
I believe it is still a thing.
You know, it was like such a big thing. I feel like
Yes.
5-10 years ago.
Yes.
But I feel like tanning is always on Groupon. What's better marketing? Working with an influencer or doing like Groupons, coupons, something in that direction?
Yeah, we do both because I'm not on Groupon, but I feel like today's Groupon is ClassPass.
ClassPass.
So I am on ClassPass.
Okay.
And then we also have influencers that come in, right? For us, influencers help us a lot more than ClassPass.
Really?
Because although ClassPass, we will see new people, which we want to be seeing new faces.
Yeah.
Most of the time, those people will realize, oh, I found them on ClassPass. Every time I want a spray tan, I can just use my ClassPass credits. I'm not going to then go book with them directly.
Okay.
So they'll continue to book with us through ClassPass.
Okay.
And the way ClassPass works is we only get a small portion of that tan.
Okay.
So it really doesn't do a ton for us
Yeah.
because if they do come back, we're still not getting that full portion of the tan.
Yeah.
Whereas with influencers, I don't like the whole one-off influencer thing. I don't love giving an influencer a tan, coming in one time, you post about me. That's going to do nothing for me.
Yeah.
I like relationships.
Yep.
So we have influencers that we have worked with for months and years, and they come in, they get their tans, they post about us, and to this day, I still get day in and day out people coming in and being like, oh yeah, my friend Courtney, she posts about you all the time, like I wanted to come try you.
Okay.
So that, at least for our business, is what really helps. I would say anybody within like the beauty space, I'd venture to say that would probably be their answer too.
I love that. And I think that makes a lot of sense. It's not just let me pay you for a post, come in, or we'll give you the tan for free. It's I need you to keep coming. It's
building that reoccurring relationship with them.
Yep.
Because I'm the same way. Like influencers, they can post about something and then, forget, like, and then
whatever,
they're on to the next, right? But when you're building that relationship, then it's like, okay, wow, they actually use this person for their services. Like now I trust this, right? So me, again, as a consumer, on the consumer side of things, now if I see they're going into that place or they're keep buying that thing, whatever have you, now I trust that. Now I want to try that.
Yes.
So that's what we do.
Hey there, are you tired of being an average Joe? The Young Boss Podcast is here to help you shake things up and grab your career by the horns. So hit that subscribe button and let's get things started. Now, back to the show. One of our other Young Boss guests and one of our glowiest friends is how we got connected, and she has the best glow. Shout out to Kelsey Zubkoff. So if you want to look like Kelsey or Bree, you need to go check them out. What is the best advice you've ever received about business or life?
That's a tough question. I don't know if there's been anything that's been like so profound that I'm like, this was life changing. I do think there was one conversation that I just candidly had with a friend at a networking group.
Yeah.
And I was going through a really rough time in business. I had a second location that I was closing at the time.
Yeah.
And so I was just kind of going through it. I was going through things personally. It was just, I was being hit with a lot.
Yeah.
And I remember him sitting there telling me he's far ahead in entrepreneurship over myself. He's been at it for 10, 12 years. And I remember him telling me that to this day, he still makes mistakes. He was like, you're stressing out about this. And he goes, in a few months from now, this is not even going to be a blurb in your mind.
Yep.
He was like, I still make mistakes to this day. You will continue to make mistakes. So stop thinking of this as a mistake. It's just a little bump. Continue to move on. And so every time I get asked that question, it's like, it's never been anything profound, but it's little conversations like that.
Yeah.
That have stuck with me.
Well, that changes your whole perspective on it.
Absolutely.
Because it goes from being like this monumental, everything's world
Yes,
is
like
ending,
world is falling on me.
to being like,
Oh yeah, it actually doesn't matter.
It's a Tuesday. On to the next.
On to the next.
Okay, how has being a small business owner impacted your life outside of work? Because in the beginning, working like crazy. Now you're working a little bit less. Goal is to be working even less.
Sure.
But how has this impacted your personal life?
In every way possible. Because I think I've built my business around me.
Yeah.
And so when people think of me, they think of my business.
Yeah.
So it truly affects every part of my life
Yeah.
because of that aspect.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, in the beginning, it's a complete grind. So you're there all day, every day, and not to say that I'm not still there all day, every day. But yeah, sometimes it's hard to balance work and life and all the things.
Yeah.
I do really put an emphasis on still having a
life.
life and doing all the things that I want to do.
Good.
Because I just know that for me mentally, that is what I need.
Yeah.
I need to make sure that I'm filling my cup up, because if my cup is not full, then I can't be pouring into my business and to my girls and all of that. So while being a small business owner affects every part of my life, I try and make sure that I kind of keep everything in compartments.
That's so important. And I do think it can be so overwhelming when the business is your baby, it's your face, and you're in the building phase and you're not able to pull back yet. But I know you'll get there. But it is so tough. So it's good that you're having the balance now, because if you don't practice it in the beginning, you're not going to practice it later on.
No, it'll be much more difficult.
It's much more difficult. What's the most important skill a business owner can have?
To never stop learning. Yeah, I no matter what you do, just never stop learning. And don't be afraid to invest in learning, or invest in a coach, or invest in therapy, whatever have you. Never stop learning, never stop trying to become the best boss and the best person that you can be, because all of that will just help further your business. So for us, our industry is constantly ever changing. So we're always continuing to do trainings and all that sort of stuff. But I always am putting myself in a student seat. I know a lot about the business, but I'm never going to say that I know everything, because I just think that's silly of me. So yeah, never stop learning.
I think that's really, really good. And people assume, I think, in all these different kinds of businesses, they're like, oh, a tanning salon, you don't need a business coach. It's like, it's a business nonetheless.
Absolutely.
You absolutely do. You have employees, you have rent to pay, you have all this stuff. Of course you need guidance. And so I think no business is too small, too big, too anything to get that support, get that coaching, get that mentorship. So I think it's really good that you said that, because I think people have a misconception about small businesses. They're like, just go at it until you're bigger, then you need it. No, you need it.
You need it now, because how are you going to get big without that insight?
Yes. And they'll guide you along the way. Okay. Talk to me about setting yourself apart from maybe like larger players in the tanning industry. How do you become somewhere that they test and say, okay, we're going to come back here?
Yeah, truly, I believe that comes down to your client experience. From my experience within our industry and within the beauty industry in general, larger, more heavy hitters, they have that churn and burn aspect to them. So that relationship that they may be building with clients kind of lacks because, you know, the service is now 10 minutes and they're just trying to get the next client in and get you out, right? Whereas a small business, we have the time. I want to talk to you. You want to cry about your ugly boyfriend before we get started? Let's do it. So I think it really just comes down to that client experience. And I'm bringing an experience to you. I want to build a relationship with you. I want to be your friend. And I think that sets us apart between those bigger, heavier hitters within the industry because you won't get that there.
No. And I agree. I feel like I lived in San Diego for a moment and I like did not really make any friends. And somebody asked me like, oh, do you have friends out here? I was like, my lash girl, my tan girl, my hair girl. I was like, these aren't my friends. And I was like, you know, I pay them, but like they are my friends. And it's because I was going to all small business owners where they owned it. And like genuinely, I'm sitting there with you for 30 minutes an hour for hair. It's, you know, hours. And it's like, no, they are my friends. Like I'm talking to them about my life, all of this. And I stay in touch with all of them. And I do think that is like really something to be said when you go to some big corporate place or just like a nameless, faceless business, they are not your friend. And I don't really care about going back there and I don't care about stopping going to them.
Absolutely.
I felt terrible to call my tanning girl and say, I'm no longer coming, I'm moving. Like I was like, I love you, I'm so sorry. You know, like, and I had to like have like a breakup conversation just because I'm moving, right? But it is true, when you're not connected by the relationship, you don't care about going back or not. You're like, okay, whatever.
Exactly.
On to the next. It is strange to say, but building relationships with your clients really will keep them coming around.
Absolutely.
Okay, can we do a little quick fire? I'm going to ask you a lot of questions.
Oh, quick fire.
Okay, you got it. You got this. You got this. Should you build businesses fast or slow? Slow. One book or podcast about business every entrepreneur needs to read.
I don't read, so I'm going to say a podcast. The Mindset Mentor.
Okay. One person who's changed your life.
My dad.
Being tan and having a modest life or not being tan and living a life of luxury?
Neither. I don't want it.
I don't want it. Couldn't be me. Okay, Arizona or California?
Ooh, I love them both, but I live here. This is home.
Okay, beach or mountain?
Neither. The beach is sandy and the mountains.
Where do you want to go? Snow?
To the city.
To the city. Okay, you're a city gal. Okay, tell us your favorite tanning product or a tanning product we should avoid.
Oh, so as far as like an at-home tanning product, I'm going to plug myself a little bit because I created my own self-tanner.
Tell us.
It's called Rebel Soul.
Okay.
It's phenomenal.
Okay.
It was made obviously to be the likeness of a spray tan.
Love
it is professional grade. You can get as toasty as you want, just like you would from a spray tan.
Love it.
So that's probably my favorite product.
Okay.
Things that you should avoid. Oh my gosh. Let's talk real quick.
Yeah.
Essential oils, mineral oils, Dove body wash.
Okay.
Exfoliating. Some people exfoliate when they have a spray tan. Stop doing that.
Yeah. Okay.
Those are some things that pop into my mind.
Immediately.
No.
Immediate no. Okay, good job. You're out the fire. Has youth been an advantage or disadvantage in business for you?
I think it's been an advantage for me being in the beauty industry and a service-based business and me being at the age that I'm at. I think I'm actually able to connect with a lot of different age groups, which is kind of cool.
Yeah.
Because I can connect with the girls that are like seniors in high school still, but I can also connect with like the 35 to 38-year-old mom.
Yeah.
So I think it's been an advantage because of that.
Yeah, you're all over the place. What are 3 tactical tips that you have for somebody wanting to get into business?
First thing I would say is practice discipline because there are going to be days within your entrepreneurship journey that you are not going to want to do it. And motivation is only going to get you so far. Motivation's not going to be there every single day when you wake up. So practice discipline, I would say, is the first thing.
Okay.
The second thing I would say is to be adaptable. Because you are going to get hit with different things every single day.
Yes.
I told you a little while ago, not every day is the same for me.
No.
So you have to be able to adapt to different scenarios every single day.
Yeah.
When you are a boss of someone, you have to be able to adapt to different people and their opinions and their moods and all of that.
Yeah.
So on that journey, make sure that you can be adaptable
Yeah.
to all sorts of different things.
Okay.
And then third thing I would say is make sure that you educate yourself.
Never stop learning.
Is never stop learning. Never get out of that student mindset, because there is always something new to learn, whether it's about your business or just about life, and all of that will help you in the end.
I love it. Where do you see the Bronzed Bungalow and yourself in like 5 years, 10 years?
I would say I see the Bronzed Bungalow right there in Old Town Scottsdale, just like it always will be.
Doing its thing.
Doing its thing. I will probably not be there spraying day in and day out in 5 years from now.
Yeah.
I'm going to have some really awesome girls doing it for me.
Yes.
Me, myself, I see myself really pouring a lot of my heart and soul into the product line.
Yeah.
So that's where I see myself going and growing.
Yeah.
But as far as the Bronzed Bungalow, right there in Old Town Scottsdale. We want to keep it local. We want to keep it small.
Yeah.
I just want to have a really, really cool group of girls who help create that environment.
Yeah. I love it. And I think it's just so, I mean, you really have the market down, and I'm excited for you. I'm excited to see the growth. I'm excited to see you be able to pull out of it and take it to the next level.
Thank you.
And at home tanning is becoming such a cool thing. So the more products you do, the better. I really love that direction.
I'm really excited about it.
Yeah, it's all the rage. And then you know what? We'll be selling it on TikTok Shop, and everyone's going to be like,
Exactly.
Go get her product.
Exactly.
Okay. Where do people find out more about you or come visit you?
Yeah, you can find us on Instagram at the Bronzed Bungalow, or if you want to follow my personal, you can always do that too. It's at @BreeLo_. And then you can also find us on TikTok, the Bronzed Bitch.
Okay.
It's a funny name, but
Yes.
I do a lot on there as far as like education.
Really?
So if somebody is just like, I don't even know what a spray tan is, and I don't know the first thing about it, go on to my TikTok, because there's lots of information there.
Okay.
And then www.thebronzedbungalow.com if you want to book with us.
Amazing. Well, we definitely want to book with you because we want to be glowy. We want to look nice. So thank you for being here.
Of course.
And it's been really fun to hear all of the insight and information, because it's such a fun industry, a vulnerable industry from the client side, and a fun industry, I assume, from the owner side.
Couldn't agree more.
Well, thanks for being here. And thank you for listening to another episode of Young Boss with your host, Isabel Garino. Be sure to like, share, and follow on Instagram and TikTok, and subscribe wherever you get your podcasts, and let us know, would you rather have no tan and live a life of luxury, or have a tan and live a modest life, or neither, like Bree? Let us know. We'll see you next time.